I like to talk to the team before I let any information out that's that regards the team in general, but I'll let you guys know that I relieved Steve Wilks from his duties this morning as our defensive coordinator. Chris Harris will actually be assuming those duties right now, and I will be helping him as he progresses through the week as our coordinator, and everybody else will stay the same. This decision that I made late last night, and I talked to him this morning, and I felt like it was the best decision for the organization at this time. And I've said this all along, that I'm evaluating players, I'm evaluating coaches, I'm evaluating myself, and I just felt like this was the best decision for right now for the team and for this organization. When it comes to the game, again, disappointed in the loss, and it's not just a loss in general, it's the way that we lost the game, but giving up the amount of points that we did. There were mistakes in this game that was somewhat uncharacteristic of us. I thought Brady did some really good things, especially the way that he started the game. I think he was 6 for 6 in a touchdown, and then he made some rookie mistakes, like you would expect any rookie would make. And I see that he's going to get better. He's going to get better. When it moves forward as far as who's going to be our quarterback, I'll go ahead and say it now. I'm going to evaluate that and let you guys know that as this week progresses. But again, I was disappointed in the loss, and there's a lot of things that we got to get better at. But one was making the decision of the coordinator. And listen, Steve's a really, really good person. I think he's a really good coach. But again, I thought this was the best decision for this team. So any questions?
Why do you think it just didn't work with Steve?
Say that one more time. You cut out.
Why do you think it didn't work with Steve? You obviously, what you talked about last week, your belief in him, and why this didn't work, you think?
Listen, I just thought that, from last week going to this week, that the improvement wasn't there. And I thought it was time to make a change, And again, I'm going to make the decision that that's best for this organization at all times. And it's my job to make sure I continue to evaluate everything that's going on. And I told you guys that. And, that's my job as the head coach. And I just thought this was the time for me to make that decision.
So will Chris be calling the defense, Aaron, or will you be calling
Chris will be calling the defense. He's done it before in the preseason. Again, I will be assisting him as the week goes by on game planning. But I've said this before, that this is the league of change, and with change come opportunity, and this will be a good opportunity for him to get a chance to call it.
What do you want to see happen with this defense over the next 3 weeks now, Aaron?
I want to see consistent improvement. I want to see structure that's consistent. I want to see play that's consistent, and I want to see the character of the culture of this football team come together. And that's just the defense I know you asked me about, but I'm just talking about in general. I want to see the culture of this football team in these last 3 games, and that's what I'm evaluating also. Listen, I don't think we have a culture problem, but the thing is, I want to make sure the things that we've been building up to this point stays exactly where it is and even improve. So, but defense, that's what I want to see, consistency about how we operate and the way that we play. You keep cutting out.
You were always very highly accountable as a player, in my recollection. I'm just curious, as part of your measurement of character and culture, you had a couple of your defensive leaders yesterday that refused to speak to the media, both on the defensive side of the ball.
Yep.
After what took place yesterday. Where does that fall into that culture, and that accountability fall into that kind of culture that you're trying to build? Are you okay with that? Is that, obviously a fair choice, but it wasn't a good look.
Well, I think you just said it is their choice, and I don't know why they would they made the decision that they made, but it's their decision. They're grown men, and who knows, maybe they it's an emotional time after a game, And sometimes, the guys just doesn't feel like talking. Hell, I don't feel like talking all the time, but I know that's what I have to do, So I wouldn't hold that against them as far as it's a culture or a character problem. I'm sure just like you don't feel like talking, after, things are not good all the time, So, but I wouldn't hold that against them. Our guys are not that type of guys. I think you know that. And maybe they were just pissed at the way that they played.
I understand that. I
Yep.
understand it's an emotional time in locker rooms there, but I'm curious. I mean, it does fall into accountability to some degree. I mean, your fans want to know why, the 48 points was put up on your defense, and, and Jermaine and Quincy doesn't,
Yep.
they don't want to talk about it. It's not a good look.
Yeah, and I understand that. I do understand that. But again, it was their choice. Maybe they just wasn't up to talking at that time. But I'm sure you'll hear from those guys. So again, don't take it too hard on those guys. You'll hear from those guys. Those guys are grown men, and they're going to step up to the plate when it's time. I think yesterday was just a day that they were pretty pissed off at the way the defense played, and I know that about them. So I would ask you, to give those guys a shot, give them another chance, and they will step to the plate and they will talk about it.